Up next, elementary school students learn to share from what's left.
And we check out a new bill that helps students during traffic stops.
This and more coming up on Frisco ISD-TV.
Welcome to the last episode of Season 11 for Frisco ISD-TV. I'm Madison McFarlane.
And I'm Bailey Coyle. Thanks for joining us.
In this edition of It's Elementary, My Dear, Kyle Bradford shows us how students at Taylor Elementary learn from what's left.
As time flies throughout the school day, some students may still be hungry and are possibly left with nothing to eat. Taylor Elementary brings hunger to the table.
The food share table is just a table for students at lunch designed to provide anybody that either A, has extra food that they're not going to eat and they don't want to waste it by throwing it away, or students who finish their lunch quickly and realized, hey, I'm still hungry and I want something else, but maybe they don't have money in their account, so they have somewhere to go to get an extra bit of food to eat for lunch without having to worry about it.
Both teachers and students see the benefits.
Sometimes, like when you just don't have enough to eat, you're feeling a little bit more hungry. You can just get more food right here without having to pay any more money.
It's a huge part to help them learn not to waste food, that there's something else that can be done. It can be shared with somebody else who maybe needs it.
With the variety of foods, students have options to choose from.
They offer milk, fruit, and sometimes packaged items like Dan Animals and crackers.
Anything from whole fruit, packaged items like bread or cookies or chips, milk unopened, anything unopened, cheese sticks, fruit cups, anything that's unopened that's sold in the cafeteria.
The table provides more than just food to eat. There's food for thought as well.
I think it helps the kids understand empathy, and it helps them learn to share, and just it gives them an opportunity for acts of kindness.
40% of eligible food winds up in landfills, and Texas has a food insecurity of 15.76%, and that's just Texas. So this is a way for kids that are not getting enough to eat can get enough to eat.
I think really the bigger picture of this is just promoting in students that act of kindness or that act of giving, knowing that no matter how big or small your act is, it can help others.
With many donations brought to the table, students at Taylor have more options to satisfy their hunger and their spirit of giving. I'm Kyle Bradford for Frisco ISD-TV.
Thanks, Kyle. In the middle of it all, Hunt Middle School uses new technology to improve their band.
Kennedy McGilvery has more on how students benefit.
It is Frisco ISD's mission statement to know every student by name and need. And when you have a class full of 50 students, they all have different needs and are at different places.
Band directors at Hunt Middle School are getting their students in sync with the use of new tools.
Especially the Tonal Energy app was one of the first apps that was developed that a lot of band directors started using.
The app shows them a visual cue of things they could be doing. It gives an audio cue for things that they can be doing in order to improve, and it is more engaging to them because it's something that is on their level and shows them exactly what to do.
The app has many features that have evolved over time.
And it was mostly used as a phone app at first, and it worked on the iPad and everything, but over the past few years they've started adding other features to it, like the analysis part at the bottom. There's a recording feature now, so we'll actually pull the video camera over, and the kids can have it sitting on their stand where they can see their face.
It's easier for them to teach us with visually seeing.
You play a note and then it tells you if you're flat or if you're high, and then if it's in the middle, then you're good.
I've seen a huge improvement in students that are more visual learners as opposed to auditory because like I said, it gives them something to look at.
They can actually plug it into their phone, they can plug it onto their instrument, and it's just picking them up. So it's telling them exactly where their pitch is.
These students are seeing the benefits.
It helps me stay in tune so that I can sound better.
I think it's made me a better player because I have some direction to go towards when I get to hear the song at first.
It helps that you're tuning in. It has a metronome so you can play at the right speed for your music.
It's helped me with my notes and helped me tune them when I need it.
They're getting instant feedback both from me and from their own recording, telling them what things that they can do to improve.
From playing to teaching, times have truly changed.
They don't understand how much technology they actually have available to them compared to what we had. And so we're constantly telling them, man, if we had this app when we were a kid, if we had YouTube, if we had just the internet in general, you know, when kids are constantly asking us, well, how does this go? How do you play this? Well, you've got the metronome, you've got the tuner, you've got YouTube at your disposal to go and look. And we'll bring up stuff a lot of times on the Apple TV and just show them this is what other people are doing.
Oh, it's totally different. We didn't have even metronomes and tuners to put on our stands where I grew up. So I learned, they sat me next to a saxophone player and they said, try and do what that kid's doing. And so that's how I kind of learned which notes I was supposed to be playing.
What makes it even more special is the students raised the money for all of these new bells and whistles all on their own.
They fundraised the money and our band boosters purchased the items. And so without the help of the band boosters or the students fundraising for it, we wouldn't have had this opportunity.
With their ears in tune, these students are wrapping up their season not only with the aid of new technology, but a better sound. I'm Kennedy McGilvery for Frisco ISD-TV.
It's nice to see how students are using technology to their advantage.
It is. And Bailey, I heard you recently had the chance to talk to people in social studies classes about the changes that are coming.
Yes, I did. Here's more.
As a high school student, a highlight is learning how to drive and getting your driver's license. For some, that excitement turns to fear when they're pulled over by police. In 2017, Texas legislature passed Senate Bill 30 in hopes of educating students on what to do during a traffic stop.
SB 30 is the bill that requires public schools to teach students how to act and what to do in the event that they're pulled over by a police officer.
The bill would teach students important skills.
Just the proper way to interact with law enforcement during a traffic stop. So that way they can have an idea of knowing what to do, what not to do, things to avoid during said traffic stop.
The curriculum is rolled into existing classes.
We are currently going to be working with all 9th graders this May, and they will go through World Geography and AP Human classes. The law states that it's these current 9th graders and then every 9th grade class after. In this curriculum, students will take a pre-quiz just to find out what they already know about how to handle a traffic stop. And then they will watch a couple of videos of the right way to handle the traffic stop and also maybe the wrong way to handle the traffic stop. Then they're going to go and have a Q&A session with a police officer on their campus to go over like the 20 best tips for how to interact with a peace officer during a traffic stop. And then they're going to take a post-quiz.
Senate Bill 30 benefits both students and police officers.
It'll increase the safety of the students when they're pulled over by police officers and also the safety of the police officers actually engaging in the traffic stop, because now the students will know exactly how to act and what's expected of us when we walk up to your car.
Traffic stops are often skimmed over in driver's ed, and many teens, whenever they're pulled over, have different reactions, and it's important to respect police officers in a traffic stop.
SB 30 will help students just due to the fact that, number one, it gets them into a Q&A with their high school SRO. It clear up a lot of misconceptions or a lot of myths about officers and traffic stops. Hopefully it'll calm a lot of fears and allay their nervousness.
Officer Lowe gives final tips on what to do if you get pulled over.
Don't be nervous. Don't panic. Everything will be all right. More than likely it's something minor. Please be respectful and they'll work it all out and they'll get you on your way.
Some drivers are lucky enough to drive away with no ticket. However, some aren't as lucky. No matter the case, hopefully they'll use what they learned from this training during the traffic stop. I'm Bailey Coyle for Frisco ISD-TV.
Great story, Bailey. Students at the Career and Technical Education Center are learning how to save others' lives. Frisco ISD-TV's Jared Gonzalez-Yap has more in high-tech happenings.
Do you guys need the backboard? Yeah. Take your backboard.
It's one thing to study these things in a book. It's another thing to really do them.
Career Technical Education Center students training to be emergency medical technicians, or EMTs, joined other school districts at the Collin College Public Safety Training Center in McKinney to take part in hands-on experiences, testing their knowledge in emergency situations.
This is like our EMT Safety Day is what they call it, and so we go over some skills such as like vehicle extraction, getting patients out of cars.
We do a bunch of different things. We start out with a whole bunch of lecture and learn about how to treat and diagnose, and then we actually get to practice skills and like what we did here, and we actually get to assist in treating patients and eventually can treat them on our own.
Here we're like gonna reenact a mass casualty incident. For our example, it was like a robbery at a store where multiple people got shot, and then we're just gonna go over other small drills and just look at stuff around here.
Laying your body on top of the patient's body trying to get there. So you really try to do it.
The scene took place at a bank, and victims and police officers alike were injured.
All right. Got albuterol. Hey, make sure.
The EMT students raced against time to save as many lives as they could. The injuries ranged from minimal to fatal. Although it was a simulation, the stress was real.
With a mass casualty incident, just as in real life, it can be overwhelming. And some of them at first froze briefly because the whole situation, lots of people, lots of things going on, and even though you're trained in what to do, even in real life, some of the professionals freeze up briefly. So they got to experience some of that and then how to work through that, keep going and do the things that they need to do. We're hoping everybody learned some things as well as had fun. It's a whole nother way of just getting to learn the things that we talk about and trying to help them learn about emergency care.
I'm Jared Gonzalez-Yap for Frisco ISD-TV.
Thanks, Jared. Students got a chance to show off their businesses to a panel of investors. Jake Steele has more.
When you have students that have an interest in becoming an entrepreneur, they really don't know what it takes to put together a business plan or putting together a marketing plan or even putting together an implementation plan. So what YEA does, it helps them to formalize that process.
The Young Entrepreneurs Academy, or YEA, gives students an outlet to develop their thoughts and put them into action.
And the Investor Pitch event is where they get to then pitch their ideas for investment dollars and get the public to kind of see what it is that they've come up with. And it also build confidence in them.
Each one of the entrepreneurs, CEOs that have gone through the YEA program over the year that they've been in school, this night is a culmination of them working on their business plan, working on their idea and their concept, and now they're here to do their investor pitch in order to get money to start their business. So most of them are looking for anywhere from $800 to $2,000 at the max. And they've had to go through all of their financials. Like they've had to figure out how much is it going to cost to make their product, what are they going to pay people, and what are all those operating costs that are going to happen. And then they've got to come up with a number that says it's going to take me X amount of dollars in order to start my business, and they've had to make a compelling argument as to why these investors want to invest in their company. So it's Shark Tank right here in Frisco, Texas.
YEA gives students the platform and the guidance, leaving the rest up to them.
For my son in particular, I think it lit a spark and it got him motivated and it gave him a passion and a drive and something to really work towards. And so he was very self-motivated, which he's not necessarily in every other avenue, but with YEA, he gets up and he's like, okay, I got to work on my business plan. I got to work on my logo. I got to work on my website. I got to work. And so he's constantly doing those things on his own. And I go up at night, 3 hours after his bedtime, and he's sitting on the computer trying to, hey, look, I added some more things to my website. So it's really given him a passion and something that it's like his baby that he's really wanting to see succeed.
My daughter just moved to the U.S. It's actually a second year, and having joined this program, I didn't know she's so confident. It built a lot of confidence in her. When I came here, I was so nervous myself. I didn't know what to expect. It's amazing. She got exposed to all accounting or business concept, and she's really looking forward to starting a business.
There's a tremendous amount of skills that they learn, but ultimately I think it's up to them. What they're going to put into it is what they're going to get out. But I think that if they're willing to put in hard work, a commitment, that they're going to receive a gift of skills and experience that is going to be useful to them the rest of their lives.
Each student profits from being in YEA.
It makes individuals into leaders, and it's really nice because I was before YEA, I was mumbling. I couldn't speak in front of a large group of people. But after a lot of practice and a lot of really good tips from our mentors, I became who I am now, and I love YEA. It's a really good program, and yeah, it's amazing.
The classes, they're just the best. The teachers, they are very patient, and with the students, like me, I was struggling the first time, but they were patient with me. And yeah, I got the hang of it.
Organizations like this pave the way for generations to make it in the entrepreneurship world.
You've got kids as young as 4th, 5th, 6th grade, some who are in high school, and they've all put together a pretty powerful package on an idea, a market assessment, and a financial plan that's actually pretty impressive. As a guy who teaches undergraduate, graduate, and PhD students, I'm very impressed with what Frisco ISD is doing here with these students.
I'm Jake Steele for Frisco ISD-TV.
Well, that's all for this season. It's my last time here on Frisco ISD-TV.
We sure are going to miss you. Good luck to all the seniors as they start their futures.
I wish you guys the best of luck in the future. For my last time, I'm Madison McFarlane.
And I'm Bailey Coyle. Thanks for watching.